I'm
Rawr.
angry about cats.
When did we all get this dumb? Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear warfare. I don't see any bodies, so it doesn't count.
I'm angry about cats.
I'm the chef. I want to hear one thing. Yes, chef. Come on, man. Use your brain. The Why I'm Angry podcast starts now. I moved it. Come on, man. In Flanders Field, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row. The mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field. Every year we kind of take that poem and we do something with it. We read it and just kind of have a moment. It is Veterans Day, and at the Why I'm Angry podcast, obviously, we're patriotic, and we believe in the sacrifice that our fallen heroes have given to us, and those who have fought in battle. We honor them every day. Really, we try to, and it's the Why I'm Angry podcast. So let's get into it. I got Carson with me here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about everything. We got Veterans Day, and I went out and ate with my father-in-law, one of the few living veterans that I still have in my life. It was a good time. It's nice to see companies around the country really honoring our veterans. Something that we've kind of fought with over the last few years is Veterans Affairs, the VA, getting what he's due for medical, just payments and stuff like that. And it was just nice today to be able to honor them. And I went to a couple different restaurants because I was picking up food for somebody and doing that, and just try to talk to a couple of veterans and happened to talk to a couple of Vietnam veterans. And the one guy said, he goes, I don't know that I would give 10 cents to do it again, but it was definitely an experience. And that's how he kind of had looked at it. But so I felt for him. But so Veterans Day.
Absolutely. Thankful.
So, yeah. Something I also heard today on Veterans Day, and I kind of watched over my shoulder as I was trying to get through. We have a ton of stuff going on in the news. Like today, if you haven't been looking and participating in the news today, you've got a lot to catch up on. We had a Syrian leader, or the Syrian leader, come to the White House and meet with the president for the first time ever. We've never had a Syrian leader come to the White House. That would be similar to a new Iranian leader coming to the White House. I mean, we've had sanctions on them for years and years. And they've normally been a sponsor for terrorism. So we normally don't meet with them and things. So this is a pretty big deal. And then just the regular stuff. We got some quotes from the Pope to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We've got I think we're going to lighten it up with some sports this afternoon, and just check in on everybody's fantasy teams and stuff like that. So I know I think Carson beat me this week in fantasy football, so it was a rough week for me. But so Veterans Day. give me a few thoughts on, Veterans Day. Have you ever been able to go to a Veterans Day like funeral or a memorial or anything like that? Have you gotten
Yeah.
out to some of those things?
I think one thing that I remember, oh man, I don't remember how long ago it was, but we went to Washington, D.C., me, mom, dad, Joshua, and Catherine, I think. It's when they lived in Virginia.
Yeah.
And we went to like the memorial there, and that was pretty neat. And we saw the exchanging of guards and stuff like
Okay.
that. Yeah. So
That's cool.
That's probably the most significant thing I could think
And
of.
then that's what I watched. I just watched. They played the taps and the exchanging and the laying of wreaths on the tomb of the unknown soldier, and they did the
Yeah.
that is something, honestly, I've never gotten to do.
Yeah.
I've been to DC probably 4 or 5 times at least, like downtown DC. And even last year when I went, we went to the Library of Congress and stuff like that, and kind of took my mother-in-law around so that she could kind of see it, and still didn't get over to Arlington. And that's one of the places, like I said about Hawaii and Pearl Harbor, like just one of those places where I'm sure you feel the spirit of
Absolutely.
something happened. These people stood for something. And just, that heavy spirit.
Yeah. I think when I went, it was a cloudy, rainy day too. So that definitely added to the effect. Yeah.
I don't know if it gets sunny on Arlington.
Literally.
I think it just is always cloudy. Like
say.
you're just like,
yeah.
It could be the sunniest thing. Like you're in the sun in DC, and then you get on the train to Arlington, and you're like, is that clouds?
Yeah.
Is that?
That's funny.
Yeah, no, because I think even 2 or 3 times that I went to like the Vietnam Memorial and stuff like that, it was the same type of deal. It was just like,
right.
The sun is behind clouds, whether it's there or not.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, definitely just a good day that if you've got a veteran, somebody who's fought, and this is one thing I also thought about, or that I had heard. I was going to say earlier, is that if you didn't fight, if you were prepared to fight, if you don't have, not that you're a veteran, but I've always felt kind of like, I should have gone. Like as a patriot, as a person who feels strongly about my country, I've always felt a little, just that little apprehensive that I didn't go.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't for me. I'm not a very regimented person. Maybe it would have helped me become more regimented and things. And then we've talked about ADHD and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that definitely is not, regiment is definitely not in my wheelhouse. I'm trying more as I get older, and doctors are trying to prescribe me with medications and stuff like that, that, to follow that. But, I definitely probably missed my doctor's appointment for the yearly checkup, because I didn't follow through and schedule it
Right.
a second time. But since my doctor decided to leave his practice and went somewhere else.
Well, there you go.
So,
Yeah.
and then they're like, yeah, you should schedule the thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. It's now November. And
I have to schedule a dentist appointment too. Which
right.
I've never done in my whole life. So.
Well,
I know.
just get in the habit of doing it. Because
that's important.
Because at 43, I'm not in the habit of doing these things. And yeah, I mean, I think there was probably 10, 12 years where I didn't go to the doctor and didn't have really a doctor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I first had the deep vein thrombosis, they were like, well, who's your doctor? And I'm like, you.
Yeah.
Because they're like, yeah, but who do you normally go to? I'm like, what? Like, I don't go to the doctor. I don't, I'm healthy. So obviously not, because you're in the doctor's office, can't walk, but
right.
Type thing. But yeah. So, but as a non-veteran, don't feel bad that you're not a veteran, but at the same time, make sure that you're there supporting the veteran, as a supporter of veterans.
Yeah.
You can feel good about that. And that even if you didn't, even if you weren't in a fight as a veteran, you were willing to put your life on the line. You know, I've got a friend that went to boot camp and got injured, and they sent him home. And I feel like he's always felt bad about that he didn't, that he didn't make it. And they do have they do a good job in boot camp of breaking you down,
Mm-hmm.
so that when you're ready to fight and things like that, there's a base. So there, you have a base of belief that you are this. You don't want to go into a foxhole with a guy that's like, dude, I don't think I should be here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I'm built for this, so they break you down so that you have that, okay, this is who I am. I'm here as a fighting machine,
Right.
type thing. And so I think that at the same time as they do that, if you don't make it through, you feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And I think they want you to feel they want you to feel like a failure because they don't want you to fail.
Right.
So that you're
Some incentive. Yeah.
right, your back is to the wall. Maybe you'll succeed through that.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that being said, if you didn't fight, don't feel bad, but support a veteran. Like,
Right.
do your part now. Get out there and the one thing I've always wanted to do is those honor flights. Where you take a veteran to Washington D.C. to see their memorial and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've just, every time it's come up in the Dayton area, I've not had time, or it's been a bad scheduled time for it. But
Yeah.
but you don't even have to do that. Like when we had the food truck, if you had your fatigues on, or you were in police uniform or whatever, we gave you something.
Right.
If it was, we gave you your fries, or we gave you your burger, or I comped a whole meal.
Yeah.
We gave you something.
For sure.
And so I think that whatever you're in, if you can give them something, that's the deal. So, that being said, let's talk just a little bit about the Assyrian, or the Syrian. Sorry, Assyria is from Bible times.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk a little bit about the Syrian president or leader, because like somebody was saying even today, that he hasn't gotten full control of the whole country yet. There are still areas of the country that it's been a year almost. Like it was October of last year, November 8th of last year, that Assad got on a plane and exiled himself to Russia. It's kind of strange that all of the exiled rulers are going to Russia and hanging out.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and that also puts a firm grasp of who Russia is in your mind, because sometimes when you listen to Putin talk and he waxes his historical on how he sees his country of power and stuff, you could say, okay, I understand. Like even when he was talking to man, who was that guy on the radio? He did an interview where he talked about the U.S. left him out to dry when they were trying to bring him into NATO and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That he wanted to be part of NATO, and they left him out to dry and kind of painted him as a villain. And you could say, okay, I could see how the U.S. would have done that or something like that, but it's also a point of view of the people that you keep in your circle of influence. It's like Stalin was not a great guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And when you take power and you never relinquish it to you're never willing to relinquish it to anybody, you're now the perpetual president for life.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds like you might be a dictator.
Yeah. Right.
So this kind of continues to and I can see, like, because you didn't grow up in the Cold War, you know,
No.
and you didn't grow up with nuclear missiles, the thought of, okay, Cuba can shoot missiles into the U.S. and
Right.
we could all be whatever. You lose the, not fear, but I would say you lose that respect for, this is, like respect for fire.
Yeah.
If you keep fire in a bin, it's safe. It's there to warm you, keep you warm. Fire in my furnace is not going to burn me,
Right.
but I have a healthy respect for it.
Right.
It's like knives. As long as I keep my hand on the handle and on the top of the blade,
It won't cut you.
it's not going to cut me.
Yeah.
But the second that I don't respect it anymore, you're going to get sliced up.
For sure.
You're going to get burnt. If I go throwing gas on it from a gas can and lighting matches right next to the gas can, I'm probably going to light myself on fire.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we've done with Russia a lot, or those people who believe that Russia's not that big a deal, is that, yes, it's a big deal.
For sure.
And this is, if we don't respect them, they do have the nukes that could blow the world apart.
And they respect us as well.
And that's
important,
why,
right?
yeah, that's how this all works, is that,
sure.
We're big bad America and we just bully everyone. No, we are big bad America because we've won wars. And if we didn't be big bad America, do you think Iran would do anything but, they would run people in here in a second.
Yeah. For
and
sure.
so I think that, yes, like, this is a big deal. It really is. And there are a couple ways to kind of look at this big deal, like why it's a big deal. And one of the ways is that if we can get Syria to become a more democratic, a more Western thinking, I guess, country, then it's a place where we can, they were talking on the news and radio today about putting a base in Syria.
Right.
And strategically on our side of things, the more we keep the fight on in other countries, obviously, the better we are. And we've always talked about that. But to put a base in a country in the Middle East, is always a big thing.
For sure.
There's, they were just talking about Iraq, the base in Iraq in Kurdistan we've lost 0 people in that base.
Yeah.
And so, they talked about people go to, they go and holiday there and stuff like that when they've got like a couple days or something like that.
Yeah. No, that's definitely important.
Yeah.
For safety reasons too. Yeah.
So to be able to have a thumb, or to be able to kind of know what's going on in a country that we've, literally has been like vitriol to us.
Yeah.
It is a big thing. Like it's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. What makes me think of that too, sorry, I was thinking of a couple things there. One thing is another country that, this is a little off topic, but like Nigeria, all the killings and stuff that have been going on over there. Have you seen that stuff about Christian killings?
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
think I saw Sudan as well.
Right. Yeah. Africa's having a big issue with,
crazy.
And what some people don't understand is Egypt has been a big, like southern Egypt has always been a Muslim held area.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are a Christian in southern Egypt, you're on your own. You're like, this is, your life is not like it's, you live underground as a Christian.
No,
man.
you're in danger for sure.
Because they're always going after you. And it's spread more to, like you said, Nigeria and the Congo and all of that has become very Muslim. And if you don't think the Muslim faith is like coming at you,
Yeah.
I mean, we've
Yeah,
got
most peaceful religion.
we've been talking about the big thing in the news lately has been Dearborn, Michigan. And Dearborn has had a population since the late 70s of Muslims.
Yeah.
And it started out with just like one mosque, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, as a so this is where your patriotism and your belief in God or your faith, they don't 100% line up, because as a free country, it's fine for them to practice their faith.
Yeah.
And honestly, as a free country, they have every right to speak out loud and speak their faith. The problem with the Muslim faith is they don't believe you're people if you're not Muslim.
Yeah.
They believe you're an infidel, you're a lower version of a person, and they're in their faith, they're allowed to do.
Yeah, no, they're told to eliminate other
Right.
people that don't believe in Islam.
Right. You're a tool to whatever means they want.
Speaking of Islam too, New York, first Islamic governor ever.
Big time craziness. Like, this is like, I
know we didn't talk about that, but I just thought of that.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
would, and that was something that was on the list last week, and just because we've gone through so much over the last like week, with the elections and everything. Like I mentioned it, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Is that you just, and this Islam is this Muslim mayor isn't just Muslim. He's socialist Muslim.
Right.
Like, he is.
Yeah. Sorry, not governor.
Mayor of New York City, and like just like off the rails crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess
on every spectrum. Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, just like everything he thinks is like he's gonna take all of the buildings, all of the homes away from people, and then give them back to the people as free housing. And,
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not freedom.
Yeah.
That's free.
Right.
That's not
Right.
freedom.
Yeah.
This isn't the.
It's bad. I saw like 1 million people said they would leave New York if he got elected.
Oh man,
just would leave.
And what's
It's
sad,
crazy.
what's crazy about it is this guy now has mayorship over. We were just talking about it. The New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
Wall Street.
That is we're the biggest exchange in
Right.
the world.
Right.
Literally. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the NASDAQ is whatever it is, but
Yeah.
But yeah, the New York Stock Exchange and Wall Street, like that, like he basically has stewardship over the largest financial area in the world.
Yeah, and I saw some companies talking about how they would want to leave New York. A lot of business would want to leave New York because of the higher taxing that he said he's going. But you can't move Wall Street. Like that's not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
And that's what's interesting to me, because we even talked about what happens when Wall Street's no longer Wall Street. When it's just like you don't have like when the things that that need stability. Like, Wall Street needs some stability.
Right.
Like, it doesn't thrive off of chaos.
Right.
Like, you see, because people don't want their money to thrive off of, like, your money can thrive off of chaos. Like, that's really where your money actually thrives, is when there's giant ups and downs. But the problem is people don't have there's no confidence. And when there's no confidence, people don't move their money.
Yeah.
They back their money into the safes and into the banks and stuff, and into, loans and things like that, as opposed to the market and businesses. And these businesses, and this is where it hurts everybody, is when these businesses can't get their funding, or can't get the funding that they need to be solvent. You see businesses go down. Right. And it's not, and some of these companies, like, Frisch has made bad decisions, but that's 100 and some restaurants that employ 25 to 30 people each.
Right.
You know, that's 30,000. That's 3,000 people that just lost jobs.
Employment, yeah.
Right.
Makes that go up.
Because they didn't have the money. And now it's not because of the market. But at the same time, you also got to think people didn't have confidence in that business anymore. The food hasn't changed in 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And they're not innovating anything or being the best or being the cheapest. And so, because I've always said, and especially in restaurants, you can be the best or you can be the cheapest. If you're in the middle, you're just staling out your failure.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to fail someday. And so we're watching some of these companies that are just straight failing. They're just going down because there's no confidence.
Yeah.
And so that's why this, you know, that's a giant thing is, you know, if he can't instill confidence in his city, which, you know, what is it? New York isn't even 11 million people anymore. At one point, it was Tokyo and New York for the largest cities in the world. I don't think either of them are the largest city anymore. I think it's somewhere in Dubai or something like that.
Probably.
Or China. Probably China. But
I think Tokyo might still be up there.
I know they're both up there still. But at the same point, I know in like the early 90s when I was a kid that they you know, it was a fight between Tokyo and like they were like neck and neck at like 10, 11 million people.
Population wise, I think Tokyo is number one.
Is it still? Okay.
Yeah, at 37 million.
That's okay.
Crazy.
Because I think it was like, and I think it had grown like by the 2000s, like to 20 or so million, and New York at one point had to overtake them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like New York was at like 20 and they were at 19 or something like that.
Yeah, so, and then Shanghai's up there, and Delhi, India.
Delhi, yeah. So why else is this important? Because if we don't come into Syria, just to go back to Syria, if we don't do, and this is just purely economic, honestly, if we don't come into Syria and give some influence and that, and we don't start trying to help build their infrastructure back up with not our government but our companies, then China, Iran, all of those places come in and then they reinsert influence.
Right.
And so, you know, not that I know that we don't want to upset anyone. We want to be non-confrontational. Let's not be too great. But why aren't we? Why wouldn't we as a country try to influence another country?
Right.
Like why wouldn't
we've done
we?
It before.
Yeah,
it's been beneficial.
And why? You know, what is the ethics in not doing it? Like what do we gain by not doing it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's absolutely proof that socialism has failed, and communism has failed. So, yeah, I mean, you look at what is it, South Korea too,
right?
Like, why wouldn't we want to instill the best government that we've had in history? Why wouldn't we want to?
The one government that has held. Yeah, I can say it has been constantly a force in the world.
Yeah.
For the last 250 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't another government that I can see that has held like that.
No, and expanded like
the
U.S. did. Like, it just,
yeah. Because you can say, oh, England's been a constant government. Okay, they have been a constant government.
Yeah.
But they've lost 90% of their territories. They've, you know, their expansion, their government has lost their power more than they've expanded their power.
Right.
Like they're not. And this is like, you know, with all due respect, but they're not a a force on their own.
Yeah.
Like if they went out and said, we're going to attack Pakistan, like they would have to get people behind them to do that.
Right.
Like we would have to come up and ally them so that they would be able to, you know, so that they weren't just, you know, and that's why you have allies.
Right.
You know, it's not like, but if we went in and said we're going to, you know, incur into Pakistan and try to take out the Taliban or something like that, then I had a gnat.
I know, I see it.
But then we would do that.
Right, on our own.
Like, yeah, and I'm sure other countries would be like blah blah blah, and they could do that, but they can't stop us.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to physically actually try to stop us.
And not even just military wise with England, like economically too.
True.
They're really, I wouldn't call them
And
successful.
Right, and that's 100% true right there too. Is that you know, with that yeah, they don't have, you know, they're importing all of their food, and they're, you know, when you get to the point which we've gotten to, where you're importing a ton of your products that you need for daily life, then you're dependent on other people.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's what Trump's seen, and that's one of the good things he's brought back to us, is that, you know, we can be energy independent.
Right.
We can be,
States,
we can, you know, we can sell our beef in other countries. You know, we don't have to just bring, you know, we're not bringing it all in here, but any of our surpluses are now able to go out, because honestly, we make enough food in our country to feed the world. But because of tariffs and because of just random agreements,
yeah,
you know, a lot of times we don't export our food to keep values and costs high, and to keep, you know, just honestly, just some of it's just to keep the market share, like we talked about with diamonds and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it is that if we flooded the market with grain or whatever, then the grain market would crash.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and yes, right now, you know, beef prices are high, and so they're talking about bringing in beef from New Zealand and Australia and stuff like that to kind of help with that. But at the same time, if we incentivized it, we could grow our own beef.
Right.
If we also hadn't sold a ton of our farms to China, we could grow our own beef.
Yeah.
You know, why is China buying our food? Because they want to control it.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Smithville bacon is all Chinese owned.
Yeah.
And so I don't buy it anymore because it's Chinese owned bacon.
Absolutely.
And not that it's not good or not that it's whatever, but I don't want to support countries that don't support us.
Right.
Like they're going to whine about a tariff. Well, that's what they're for. Like everybody wants to complain about, well, these tariffs are going to raise prices in other countries. But for us, if we pay a tariff to come in, we didn't tax any of those people's work. We didn't tax, you know, if you want to talk about income taxes, we didn't tax any of those their income. We didn't tax any of their businesses.
Yeah.
Why would we tax our own people? And we're not taxing people out of our country.
Yeah.
Like if we can bring in the money on tariffs that we pay, then for one, the government has enough money to run itself, because I don't know if you know this, but the government is shut down right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's working on opening up today.
Yeah, I did see that we're moving.
And they're, you know, as much as I hate Fetterman, he just looks like he's never got a suit on. He's always got, and I know why I understand he wears a hoodie and some shorts, and he he doesn't care about all the pomp and circumstance and all of this stuff. And honestly, he's said some things over the last 2 years that I'm like, okay, he seems like an okay dude.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he got elected over Dr. Oz, an actual doctor, although he is a celebrity, after having a stroke, barely said a thing. And when he did say things, you couldn't understand him. There's also a conspiracy that this John Fetterman isn't the same one that had a stroke.
Wow. Yeah.
That they've body doubled him and put somebody new. Because a bald guy with a beard, you can replace in a second.
Yeah.
With somebody else.
Yeah.
And just the fact that he's stepped over the aisle and his vote is going to vote to end it. Like,
yeah. And the thing that blows my mind, and I'd have to be fact checked on this with the shutdown, but my understanding is they're trying to strong arm Trump with the shutdown, like the Democrats are. They're trying to strong arm him with signing more incentives to give out more money, which blows my mind. So the government gets shut down because there's a lack of money to pay workers. That's why shutdowns happen. That's why they say, but then they will only open the government back up if Trump will sign these bills to give out more money. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's like, okay, it's not about not having the money. It's just a strong arm play so they can still gain control. That's right. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're trying to control him.
It's so obvious.
And what I heard today, like, they didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
They didn't have a plan to open the government back up. And so with that, they try to strong arm the government to give them more money. They shut down the government, and a shutdown is basically we set up a budget. The country sets up a budget, and they set it up for so long. It says 1 year, 2 year, 4 year, 5 year budget, whatever. And at the end of that budget, they scrap everything. Basically, they look at what they've got coming in money wise, and they set it up so that, depending on who's in office, is what the budget's going to be. Like, when Republicans are in the office, most of the time they're going to try to balance it so that we're actually paying off some of the national debt.
Mm-hmm.
When Republicans are in the office, most of the time there have been good Republican or good Democrats and good and bad Republicans that have done the opposite. Then they try to expand, programs, and programs cost money, and so that adds to the national debt. That's why Obama had added more to the national debt than all of the other presidents combined.
Yeah.
And some of that's inflation, but not all of that is inflation. It's like, some of like George Washington didn't add anything to the national debt because he was George Washington.
Right.
And we didn't even barely have a national currency at the time, let alone. But, we didn't really start adding to the national debt probably for the first 50 to 100 years.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, I have to be fact checked because I don't have a clue right off, when they actually went to a national debt system. I would say it's probably in the 20s or 30s, but we could have had national debt before then. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that we, at one point we owed France for our freedoms because France came in and helped us beat England during the Revolutionary War, but I don't think they took it out on debt wise,
For sure.
But anyhow, so that's kind of the budget is, and so yes, the Republicans basically said we're going to cut all of these programs, and especially the programs that are helping LGBTQ people in Ecuador and South Africa and Madagascar and gay lemurs and stuff like that, and so making sure they have dance lessons and stuff, and all of that stuff. which I don't believe were actually programs in the beginning. They're payoffs.
Yeah.
Like they're not actually helping. The Democrats don't really care that much about the LGBTQ plus A plus plus
Yeah.
whatever community.
Yeah.
They are using that because it is a smokescreen that will not be walked through. Like nobody's gonna go, you can't do that because they're gonna be called a hater of, you're not an ally.
Right.
And so they, they're gonna put that up as a smokescreen, but they're paying off people.
Yeah.
They're paying for influences in places.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know who loved coffee in Ecuador, but that's what they're buying. They're buying favor in markets.
Yeah.
And so, this whole Ukrainian thing, Hunter Biden,
Yeah.
favor.
Yeah.
We're paying them $500 billion so that they can have tanks and blah, blah, blah. The Ukrainians better be like erecting statues to Hunter Biden and
Right. Yeah.
and that for the favor that they got because they gave him jobs in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So yes, they basically at one point I saw they strong-armed him for $1.35 trillion to provide health care to illegal aliens in our country.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about. So if the government shutdown is because we don't have money for the government officials,
right,
then why are we sending more money to something that has nothing to do with government officials if we don't have the money? Like it's so, does that make sense?
Right.
Like,
and we shut it we don't shut it down because we don't have the money for the officials. We can't agree on how we're going to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't pay all these government officials because we can't agree, and so we don't have the money. But you want to create a continuing resolution that continues to pay these people for being here illegally. But then when we want to pay for SNAP for people who have come here legally, who like I said, for the benefit of the doubt, we'll give them 10% are the bad side, and 90% really need SNAP,
right,
and really use SNAP for the betterment of their lives and stuff like that, and help themselves feed themselves with that. But they're how many years could we is $90,000 a month for SNAP, or $90 million a month for SNAP?
Yeah,
1.35 trillion to make sure that illegal aliens who should be getting kicked out of the country, or maybe already kicked out of the country by now, as fast as they're kicking people out of the country.
Right.
And again, I know there are people who are good people, who have come to the country illegally because there was no other way they could get here. There was no other way they could save their lives.
Right.
And I understand but that story is just like and this is going to sound harsh and may upset you. And if you it's just skip about 20 seconds and I won't be saying it anymore. But it's just like the abortion deal where you say, but what about those raped ladies?
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
And what about this? And you say, okay, so if you really give a push to it, less than 0.5% of those people are those people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely, I had a conversation about this recently as well. And I use that exact same analogy. And I think we talked about this a little bit the last time. But I don't know. I definitely have mixed emotions right now about immigration. The only thing that kind of I feel like makes me on edge is like you see the videos online about ICE. And like there's videos that are up there where it's like,
Right.
okay, what, like that it looks wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm for like getting illegal aliens out of the country
Definitely.
as humanely as possible, as you can do that with how many there are. But like you see videos and it's like that looks ridiculous. Like it looks like a circus. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like, man, like that. Like I have a problem with that in a way, but I also support getting them out of here.
Right.
So it's tough.
As sad as it is, you're right. There are videos of, and we've even had one of I'll just say somebody that is close to us ish in our circle.
Yeah.
Had one of their family members that they lived with, it's just a close family member, a spouse was deported.
Wow.
And because they were here illegally and they were working on all the paperwork and things of that nature, unfortunately they were still here illegally.
Right.
Like that, they're just like it's not cool, and they're nicest people.
Right.
And maybe the system failed them.
Yeah.
And you could say that because it takes so many years to go through the program, that there isn't just a great, but there's still a system, and there's still a way to go through, and the way to change the system isn't to game the system. Like, it's not like, if you can use whatever loopholes, I don't care, that's fine. But if you're still here illegally, you're still here illegally.
Yeah, and obviously we definitely need reform with the system,
right,
to get people into the country. I think everyone agrees on that.
Right.
But and one thing I do think there has been like more villainization to those people than necessary, because there are people that are bringing guns, weapons, dangerous things to our communities. But like, for example, the person you're referring to, they're not an evil person. They're not a villain. Like we don't hate those people.
Right.
And I think a lot of the Republican side, and this is like not as much, you don't hear this a lot on the Republican side, but I don't think we should have villainized them as much as on a grand scheme. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Like,
because they're still people. They're still humans. They're here illegally. They broke the law. But just like I see someone else that's broken the law in jail, I don't hate them.
Yeah,
like I mean, they're still humans as well.
Right. Exactly.
It's a tough thing to navigate. It really.
It is,
especially as Christians. Like,
and I think the problem is that as much as we villainize them, or as much as Republicans have villainized them for being here illegally, we also set out to say, listen, if you're here illegally, it's illegal. And I think that sometimes the biggest, deterrent for crime is the punishment.
Yeah.
Like,
it's true.
At some point in your criminal career, you may not care about the punishment anymore. But I feel like you weigh, is the crime worth the punishment? And I feel like some of these people have weighed that the crime is worth the punishment, because you get to the America and you get to live that dream of being in America.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for those people. Like, those are the people that you honestly, they're the hardest working people in America, probably.
Right.
Some of these people who have dreamt and slept getting across the border, they work as, like, Dalton, Georgia, where laying carpet and construction in Georgia. Like, those people are some of the hardest working people. And it's hard to say, like, look, I wish we had a way to document, you've been here so many years. Let's get you in the system. Let's get you through the program so that you can be assimilated into the system.
And expedite it, yeah.
Right. And, my wife says, well, we should accept everybody. And yes, as a Christian nation, this is where your patriotism and your Christian, somewhere here, one of them has to win.
Right.
And you hope that your Christian wins every time.
Right.
And, at the moment, the laws are this. And as a Christian, I'm going to accept you whether you're here legally or you're not. And as a person, and, I hope that you find God or you have God or anything like that. But I think but I also feel like the country as a government is supposed to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And somehow there's got to be a way to vet you through, whether it's find out if you're a criminal or not. And if you're a criminal, honestly, most likely you're going to recommit more crimes.
Yeah.
And so we don't want you here. We don't want to add more criminals to the country.
Yeah.
We already have a problem with crime because we don't punish. We've basically become on crime like parents have become on their kids.
Yeah.
We're just gonna easy parent them. We're gonna light parent them, and because we've loved them so hard, they're gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
No. Yeah. It's
like the Bible says it's not going to work that way.
Right.
Like from the writing of the Bible, which has been a couple thousand years ago. I just to let you guys know.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And so we have to have punishments.
Yeah.
And punishments deter crime. Because you can't legislate out crime, even though they try to keep making more laws. Put more laws on the books.
Yeah.
That'll keep them from making more. No, it just makes us less safe.
Yeah.
It makes us less free. Now you've got, like you said, ICE is a carnival or a circus because you got all these eyes on it.
Yeah.
And all these people trying to catch them doing one thing wrong.
Right.
And these people are just literally trying to do their job.
Right.
And
that's what makes it hard because I feel like sometimes you can because I'm not prejudiced towards those people.
Right.
We don't want to be prejudiced towards them at all because that
Right.
would be wrong.
Right.
And the dangerous part is seeing some of these I think there's Republicans that feel a type of way towards immigrants that is wrong from a Christian aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they have a hatred. So and I think another question that I see, and this is just to play the devil's advocate.
Right.
I'm indifferent about this, but I mean, people will bring this topic up and be like, well, America was founded as a melting pot. Like
Right.
New York is a melting pot. Where do you go from there? You know what I mean? We're a melting pot. That's what we are.
That's true. We
so
are.
it's like,
and we're built on immigration.
Yeah.
We're built on immigrants, but we've always been built on the law of immigration. Like in the 1900s to 1930s, everyone came in through Ellis Island. You came in, you stated your name, you got registered, you came in.
Yeah.
And then you were not a voting citizen until you took the test to become a citizen. You were here and you had papers. And if we could do something like that, then that's fine.
yeah,
Like let's get them in here, let's get them signed in. If you break a law, see you later. I mean,
Yeah.
a law more than like
Right.
speeding. Like speeding is not really a law.
yeah.
It's a
you're one
tort.
to talk.
It's
Yeah,
a tort.
That's right.
It is a below misdemeanor, law.
Yeah.
But like that's it though. Like if you break a law, like you rob somebody or or something that you started organized crime or something,
Right.
then don't pipe bomb somebody, type thing. But
So you think you would say just we need a better system?
we do need a better system
Sure.
of immigration. Like I can see that, the fact that you sign up, you got to wait 7 years, or you got to wait this much time, or that there's not enough judges, or not, there should be a better way.
Absolutely.
as a Christian, we should
Yeah.
accept more people. We should bring in, it says, bring us, or you're tired and you're hungry and all of that. And we should do that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say put your people at risk by bringing in their murderers and things like that.
Absolutely.
We want to be a protective society that, we're not bringing in the dog and the cat, like the cat comes in, we say it, kick the dog out or what, whatever's following you. We don't want to bring in the boogeyman too,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I mean, and think about it too. Like, one way to fix that system is $1.5 trillion a year. Maybe let's put that money towards a program that gives more workers that go through the paperwork that get people infected.
Exactly.
That would be a much more effective use of the money.
Like, how many of those 80,000 IRS agents could we use? Stamping people's
Right.
stamping people's citizenship paperwork or looking, vetting through this system.
Yeah.
Because there should be some kind of vet. Like, we don't want to bring in ISIS leaders.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody wants to get blown up. And no one should get blown, should worry about that. But because we are a country of excellence, because we are a country that's been out and taken, and gone and spread out into the world for whatever, then we do have a target on our back.
Yeah.
And not always because we're the jerks in the world. Not always because we're the bullies trying to make you do this.
Yeah.
Your people want to come to America because we offer a level of freedom that no one else sees.
Yeah.
And you can say, "Oh, we haven't treated our people at all anywhere close to places like Iran and Iraq and the 1996 or 94 World Cup Iraqi team is dead."
Yeah. Wow.
They got drug across fields of glass and they were all killed. The brother of Saddam Hussein, who ran the team, was exiled.
Yeah.
We don't do that to our people.
Yeah.
Even if they are murderers and whoever else.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think another thing at play here too, you look at like those countries, like there are belligerent people in Iraq that want power. Like that is their play. So when you have a country that prioritizes freedom, we have corruption, but that's another thing. But
Sure.
we prioritize freedom. Majority of America, I would say that is what
Right.
we were built on. When there's freedom, you can't have power. So for example, like North Korea, he doesn't want to give his people freedom because then he limits his power. You know what I mean?
He loses.
They don't want to limit their power, and that's what we do as a government is limit our power with checks and balances.
Right.
So I think that's another thing at play is power that people want that you can't have with freedom.
Right. And I feel like I do feel like we struggle with, there is a overwhelming group of people who want power here, and we fight that. And that's why the Constitution is so strong because or so valuable because it isn't written to give people power as much as it's written to limit the power of the people in power.
Yeah.
The First Amendment wasn't so that you or I could never be, confronted or never have our feelings hurt.
Yeah.
The First Amendment is so that the government can't come and crush you because you said something against the government.
Yeah.
Having guns isn't so that you or I can't shoot each other, you or I could shoot each other. It's so that when the government comes to attack you, like the English government came to do, you can defend yourself.
Absolutely.
And because of all of the gun controls, we couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I had a conversation with a family member the 2-3 weeks ago, and they said, well, they're not going to come and attack us because we got 5 million gun owners. Oh boy, 5 million gun owners. They got missiles.
Yeah, 5 million.
They got
350 plus.
And I think it's a higher level than just 5 million gun owners, because they sell 7 to 5 million guns a year, so that's the number. So I think it's more like 50 or 100 million gun owners, type deal, really.
Yeah.
But that's what they were saying, is we got so many gun owners. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, most of the gun owners, part of the military.
Right.
And honestly, when they come to attack you, they're not coming face to face with you. No war is going to be fought on a face to face battlefield anymore.
Yeah.
The next major war will be fought with drones, with automated vehicles, autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
Will be fought with missiles from boats in the ocean.
Yeah.
Will be fought from miles and miles away because of Vietnam.
Yeah.
Because of World War II. We don't have people with the guts or the wherewithal to fight that kind of war anymore.
No, yeah.
Like you
and you would
nothing,
lose too.
Nothing against your generation or the generation before you or the generations after me coming up, or even my generation. We just don't have the stomach for it.
Yeah.
We were coddled in life. Like, we didn't grow up with dads beating us relentlessly.
For sure.
And we didn't grow up in that kind of violence. Like, yeah, we had lawn darts, but it wasn't used against us as a weapon. We used it as a weapon against each other, but it wasn't, we just didn't grow up in this kind of violence. And yeah, video games are video games, but video games have taught us that we can fight from miles and miles away.
Yeah.
And we can be disassociated.
Right. And I think another thing too, it wouldn't be effective either. Like a foxhole compared to a drone that's in the sky with nobody in it.
Exactly.
Like it's not effective. I think that's another reason it
Right.
wouldn't be fought like that. It just
No,
whoever did fight like that would lose.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you could put a missile on a drone and drop it.
Right.
A bomb on a drone. Like Israel, we joked about, I think I joked with Jay Boots on the last time I was with him, is that Israel is shooting missiles through walls, multiple walls, and detonating it at pinpoint accuracy, so that a missile is killing you and no one else in the house.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing, but it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because you don't think they could do it here, where we don't even have rock walls.
Right.
Like, we build our walls with paper thin plywood, and hopefully you've got stuff in your walls so that you're, heat efficiencies and stuff like that. And it's like, you don't think that's going to happen here when things hit the fan.
Right.
Like, you don't think the U.S. government isn't helping Israel get those things?
Yeah.
We don't have access to that. Then your 30-06 or your 12 gauge shotgun isn't going to do anything against the doorbuster missile, the Hellfire missiles that pinpoint accuracy blow through your house.
Yeah.
So, and that's just it, is that we don't have, that's what the Constitution was for, is to control the power, not give the government the power.
Yeah.
And I think that we've lost that. We don't teach that in school. The Magna Carta was a great piece of paperwork that helped us get to the Constitution. And the Constitution gives the government no, it doesn't give the government the power. That's not what it was there for ever. It was, and that was the argument. Why do we create a government, a full federal government? Because we just got rid of a federal style government in England, and we're going to create, by creating a republic, now we could create thousands of tyrants miles away, as opposed to one tyrant thousands of miles away.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I do have to use the restroom real quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
It's okay.
Let me pause. So we took a quick break here. We're coming back from that break, and just wanted to, just as I've been finishing the year out at our house as the chef, we have a giant garden, and as I'm finishing that out, I just I found a couple brands, a couple companies that I enjoy, and when you work in the dirt, and I have psoriasis, and so I have to protect my hands even more than some others, because the second that I get a nick or a cut or a slice on my hand, that becomes a spot that I then have to try to heal, and my skin doesn't heal real great because it's attacking itself with psoriasis. And so I found a brand of gloves, Bear Skin gloves, and I've found that they just they're just a solid leather glove. Some you can get all the frills that you want, all of the different things that you want, and they've actually come to us and partnered with us. If you go to their website, it's bearskin.com, and get their gloves set up. When you go to checkout, put in Patriot Parts as your promo code, and you'll get an extra 15% off. And then they actually help us out a little bit too. And so it's kind of a win-win. You work with a Patriot company, a U.S. made company. All of their products and that are made in the U.S. And you get some great gloves. So go on, help them out. I'll have the link in our comments area and our subject, and just help them out, help us out.
Gosh, I love Fields.
Right. All right. So we're gonna lighten things up just a little bit here, coming off the break here, and just we're gonna talk. We're gonna do something we don't normally do, and we're going to just talk a little bit about some sports. I know I've done this a little bit myself, and I like to call it an exercise in hooliganism. That's right. Back to my soccer roots. Like to call it a little exercise in hooliganism, and just break it loose. Like we said, it doesn't have to be super serious every second of the day. And we'll just talk about our fantasy teams and what's going on. So here we are, fantasy teams. Me and Carson went against each other this week, and I think I lost by, I don't know how many points.
23.
About 23.
Yep.
At one point we were like, I was ahead, and it kept saying that you were going to win, and I kept rebuking it, telling it, no, I'm ahead. Because I was up by like 10 or 15 points coming into Monday, but you had your quarterback. I think you had your quarterback and one of your wide receivers.
Was that Monday Night Football?
I think it was Monday Night
Minnesota
Football.
versus Baltimore?
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that I knew you were going to probably pull ahead, because all I had was, I think I had a running back, and I had the wrong running back in. Swift got me 28 points on the bench.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had Tyrone Tracy instead.
Which Tracy became the number one because
after what's his name?
Skibidoo Badaboo.
I love him too.
Which awesome. I think he's a really cool, he's just one of those guys you're like, listen, there's a wall. You need to get through it, and he's going to run through it for you.
He's entertaining. He's really fun to watch. Yeah.
And I think he'll be fun for years to watch. I think he'll be a force for a while for the Giants, as long as he can stay healthy. That's the biggest thing. Is those guys normally don't last as long because They can't stay healthy.
Yeah, they take
Like
a lot of
because
hits.
they put their body on the line every play.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of what I'm worried about. Like Michigan's quarterback, like I've seen him block for the running back a few times,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
But he is 6'5", 210 pounds, so
Yeah.
like he's got the weight to be able to do it. It's just, not all of us are Ben Roethlisberger.
Pittsburgh lost. It was so ugly. I was so mad.
You know what though? You know who won? The Bears. The Bears.
Yeah.
10 seconds left. Touchdown. The Bears.
That game was crazy.
It was great.
That
It was just like the Bengals game too. It was just like, yep.
Yeah, it's
The Bears. It's our year. It's the year for the Bears.
What's you guys' record?
7-2, I think now.
No way. Are
Yeah,
you
I think so.
serious?
Pretty sure.
Let me see. 6-3.
6-3.
Dang.
Okay.
No, that's good for you guys' division
Right.
because you guys are in a
Right.
tough one. Yeah. Yeah, Pittsburgh. We played the Chargers, and I stopped watching after the third quarter. I was like, we're not winning this game. We just had no offense. Our defense played
Right.
great, and they have a tough defense.
And
too.
honestly, that's what I've been surprised about this season is you guys have actually put up a bunch of yards and stuff like actually done really well.
Yeah.
Because I honestly just don't believe in Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Yeah, no.
He threw 2 picks.
I've 100% said what's that?
He threw 2 picks. the other night.
Yeah, and that's it. Is I've said like he's the poor man's Brett Favre.
Really?
And you may not have I don't know. I guess he's been around what now 15 years.
A long time.
So you
yeah.
haven't really seen, you didn't ever see Brett Favre as Brett Favre. Like if you go back and look at like Brett Favre was the man.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't, and this is no like dig on Brett Favre because I know like my uncles are Packers fans and stuff like that. He wasn't the smartest guy in the world.
Hmm.
And he went out on a record with the record interceptions. Like he threw the most interceptions
Wow.
in the NFL as a quarterback ever, which I think I think he still holds that record. But he went out holding almost every other record. Like it's not his fault that Tom Brady came in like just a few years after him and just started taking his records like right after.
Yeah, he still has it, the interception record.
But
336.
But if you saw how he threw the ball, like the ball came off his arm like a rocket.
Yeah.
Like he had like he's one of the hardest throwing quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Really?
Like when you saw in Waterboy when the ball sticks in the guy's,
Yeah.
like I could see Brett Favre doing that to somebody
Yeah.
because he throws the ball so hard.
Wow.
So
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, I always felt like was the poor man's
Even when he was
Brett
with
Favre.
Green Bay?
Yes.
Really? He
Yes.
won a ring, didn't he?
He won one ring.
Yeah. I mean,
Brett Favre won 2.
that's better than Josh Allen.
Sure.
It's more than Josh
Right
Allen.
now.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I think
But
I think
here's
Aaron
the deal.
Rodgers is like the opposite because he throws like not a lot of picks.
No,
That's like what he's
he
known
doesn't
for.
throw very many picks. He doesn't throw as hard, but he does throw the ball a long distance. He has
let
an
it rip.
arm.
Yeah.
Um,
He's not afraid to.
no,
Yeah.
and the same thing though with Brett Favre is Brett Favre was the guy that if he threw a pick, he was tackling the dude.
Yeah.
Like he was the guy tackling the
Yeah.
guy to stop, like on the 99-yard line, like on the 1-yard line, like the guy he threw the pick in the other end zone,
Yeah.
and he's the one chasing him down to like
Save the touchdown.
yeah, even at like 40 years old,
Yeah.
like he was the one tackling the guy, and that's why I think that's why you endeared yourself to him, and you thought like this is a man's man, this is like a tough dude.
Yeah.
And I think that the NFL has gone away from that a little bit. Like there's not as many tough dudes.
I think that's why people like Scadaboo so much. Too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
Is that, he's a tough dude. He just like you said, like I said, he'll run through a wall for you.
Yeah.
And you want to like those people.
And it's the injuries too. That's another thing I wanted to bring up is how many injuries there's been this season. Like it's ridiculous. Like I feel like it feels like there's more this season than normal. Did you see the Jaden Daniels one?
No, I did not.
You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's ugly.
I honestly, I was pretty busy this weekend, so I didn't get to see a ton of games. I saw a little bit of the Jets game, and I just got to watch the Bears game from. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he's not ever going to be left-handed.
Yeah. No, it's not his throwing arm.
Yeah.
Tell me when it ends.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
You see it?
Yeah, that looks like AI.
It's
That looks like a bad AI.
But he's
video.
not on IR. So
That's because it's his
back,
left arm.
He'll be back before 5 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever,
Right.
which is good for my fantasy team.
Honestly,
So.
as long as they brace
I didn't even mean to watch it again. It's so
as long as they brace it up, I wonder if they'll play him.
No, and people were talking about he shouldn't have even been in the game because it was the fourth quarter. They were getting beat so bad against the Seahawks.
You can say that all you want, but like
He is their gym though. Like Jane Daniels is Washington's future.
Right.
Like, that's all they have right now.
right.
like-
Well, he's their star,
They need him. Yeah.
but at the same point, then why do you play him any games this season?
That's true.
Because
yeah.
if you know they're not going to win. They're going to be whatever. But yeah, that to me is always the
It's a
like he shouldn't have
thing.
yeah. Like, okay, we should have taken him out of play before. Like it's kind of like the stock market.
Yeah.
Like I should have stayed in an extra
Right.
5 minutes, or I should have gotten out 10 minutes ago.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, for some reason I knew Bitcoin was going to go, and it was $40 when it was first released, and I was sitting there telling Allison, I literally told, and Allison will say, I told Allison we need to buy 100 Bitcoin,
Gosh.
but I would have gotten out at 10,000.
Right. No.
Like
yeah,
when it was
yeah.
when that 100 Bitcoin was $10,000, I would have gotten out easy.
Right.
Now that 100 Bitcoin would be worth what, $500,000 or
Around,
whatever. Yeah. I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
but yeah. So, yeah, that I did not see as
It's bad.
That's crazy.
No, I was like, oh my
That's one of
gosh.
those, like, they're back when I was a kid, there was they were fighting against turf on baseball fields
Mhm.
because Philippe Alou, or no, not Philippe Alou, Moises Alou, Philippe's son. Moises Alou was coming around first base and it caught in the actual turf.
Mm.
And because he was running so hard, because he was running full blast and he was a
Right.
fast dude, his leg just snapped
Oh my
like
gosh.
right through, and it literally made like an L shape.
Oh my gosh.
and-
I can't.
And if you watch the video is so bad because before he could like, you have to stop, you have to slow down.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like he could have just like lifted his arm up, or lifted his leg up and just skidded across the ground, I guess.
Yeah.
But like he tried to take another step with it, and it was just like, it was just
Oh,
like swinging
God.
around and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
And
bad.
it was so bad. The video's really, like, if you
Oh,
can look it up on YouTube, it's
I
bad.
won't. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the kind of bad it is. It's just like one of those. But it does, like with AI. If you go and watch some of the like beginning AI videos,
Yeah.
I
can't even look at it.
yeah, if you go look at some of the beginning AI videos and like the people's arms are all contorted weird and stuff, or like the EA Sports soccer or football like touchdowns things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like a whole YouTube page, like, or YouTube videos set up, just dedicated to like messed up videos and stuff like that, computer aided
Yeah.
pictures, and this is not computer aided. This
Yeah.
is
No, it's
real
real.
life.
Yeah.
So
But anyways, yeah. Steelers to the Super Bowl.
yeah.
No,
I'm not sure I'm in
well,
on that, but
I would be more excited if we would have gotten a receiver before the deadline, but
right, and that's
I don't understand why we don't get a receiver. Like we have
right.
the things to trade with.
Right.
to get a receiver. Like, it doesn't make sense. We need another weapon on offense, and we need a deep threat for Aaron Rodgers, and we could get that from so many different teams. Like, Chris Olave was one of them. I'd be so fine with getting Chris Olave. He's 25 years old, and he's talented.
What about if Dallas said Pickett's back available?
It depends what they would offer for him. I don't know. Yeah, Pickens they would offer a lot more than what we got for him. Is the problem, because he's been doing so good with the Cowboys.
Right.
So I'd probably say no. And also, he's really not the best for a locker room. He's a great player, though. I was always a Pickens fan.
Okay.
I really was. I always thought I didn't think he was a bust like people said he was.
Right. I know. And I think it was more that I honestly think that he's moved around a lot like Jared Jeudy. Like there was too high of expectation on him, and you wanted him to be a Randy Moss, and he's not a Randy Moss. He
just didn't have any help either. Like, he was the only receiver, but then he wanted the ball. So, like, I can't be mad at a guy that is competitive, and he wants the ball in his hand.
I would say he's more like a Mike Evans, like, at the Buccaneers. He's not that guy that's going to, although he's played a decent job at Dallas doing it. Yeah. He's not the guy that's going to streak down the field and catch that big pass. He's the guy that's going to go across the middle, catch that pass. He's kind of like a tight end in his route running, where it's not quite as technical as your slot back.
Absolutely.
But he's going to catch a decent pass, and he may get a bunch of yards after the catch.
I would agree. His hands are unbelievable. I think he has one of the top 5 best catches.
They still talk about how small his hands are, though.
No, that's the quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's Kenny. He's.
Oh, okay. That's.
But no,
okay.
he has one of the top 5 greatest catches of all time. Like, I am convinced, maybe top 3. And you might not know the one I'm talking about.
I don't, just because I follow it as much as I can, but I really follow soccer a ton more than I do anything else. But I am doing pretty good in my other fantasy league.
Oh, you're
the one I have a little bet on it. That one I'm in third place right now. I'm actually 7-2 on that one.
Nice. Here, let me show you this one. Tell me when it ends. It like slows it down and stuff.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, that is a pretty,
like, the body control. He's mid-fall, reaching back.
The fact that he's gone, and actually bent himself back. That's.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's a lot like the Megatron catch.
Yeah.
But I think that one actually probably is harder than that one, even.
For sure.
Because it's not just reach up and grab a ball. Because there's plenty of players that have been able to reach up and grab a ball, like Randy Moss and that just one-handed.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be able to move your body back like that, yeah, it's probably a good
there.
One. It is a pretty good catch.
Yeah. But
yeah, so that this week wasn't so great for me, but I mean I did have good I had a defensive back. It wasn't Myles Garrett.
Plays for Houston.
Yeah, I literally picked him up because Travis Hunter was injured.
Yep.
And so I picked up this other Hunter guy. And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but he looks like he's going to score 8 or 10 points. And he scored 60 because he had
3.5 sacks as a DB.
Yeah.
It's insane. Wow.
And so I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll keep him. Not that he's ever going to have 3.5 sacks again. He may have 1 but he's got the potential to do it, obviously. So
Yeah.
I'll watch matchups. And when he plays a weak line, I'll play him again. And honestly, Travis Hunter, I've been playing because he still has the defensive backs categorized, and he's playing wide receiver. So I'm getting all the wide receiver points on a defensive back.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
It's so great.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to put it all out there, but he is the reason we redrafted.
Yeah.
100%. So me getting to use him in a backdoor just beat the
Yeah.
rules kind of way
Yeah.
is my
Yeah.
little bit of
And then
deal.
Jonathan dropped his whole team.
Yeah, and
And then that was like, well, and what's annoying, so I got Jane Daniels from Jonathan,
right,
putting everything in waiver. And
Right.
then I could have gotten, he had Cortland Sutton and
Right.
JSN. I would have gotten Cortland Sutton before Mike did. I would have got
Right.
either of them. I picked Cortland Sutton instead of JSN. JSN's the top wide receiver in the league right now.
right,
So I was mad about that. I just believed in Bo Nix in that offense. And
Right.
Evan Ingram hasn't done anything. Neither has RJ Harvey, who's that rookie running back, or Cortland Sutton. So
right.
disappointed.
Yeah,
But yeah, I could have been way up better off.
I just left all his players because I'm just like these are demon players. These are
yeah.
these are
Yeah.
cursed.
Yeah.
But I did when I played Jay, I did drop everybody but I didn't realize on Thursday night had gone. I almost commissioned it and took out just even took my points away from everybody except for my kicker.
Mhm.
And then he dropped his kicker that day so
Yeah.
that I couldn't do that. I was
Yeah.
like, you jerk.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
So no, that's that's and we kind of talked just before we got on here. It's people.
Yeah.
And whenever you have people and they're competing and things, it's people get excited about things and they
Right.
deal with things the way they deal with things. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have him back next year, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know really
Yeah, we'll see.
with him.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just, you got to kind of take it and yeah, this is the lesson learned. Never do it again.
Yeah.
We'll never.
Joshua's still number one. So
He is.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we both said, like, I lost. So I didn't have Lamar Jackson first, but I had 3 really good running wide receivers
Mhm.
and 2 or 3 really good running backs. And I've struggled all year with running backs.
yeah.
Like my wide receivers, I've got a pretty good core now. I don't have anything like I did. Like I got St. John or whatchamacallit from the Detroit and Jeffries
Yeah.
in the first draft, and the second draft I didn't get anywhere close, and even DJ Moore has been terrible this season.
Yeah.
But I did pick up Odunze, and he got me 25 this week. So
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he has Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey, I'm pretty sure. So it's like
right,
Jonathan Taylor's the number 1 back this year, and Christian McCaffrey. Everyone on the 49ers has gotten hurt except him, and he gets hurt every season. So
right, and
I was like, whatever.
And if somehow he didn't get hurt last season, so somehow he's doing something different.
Yeah.
But
73 points Jonathan Taylor brought up. That's ridiculous.
But yeah, so it always feels like it's never as good the second draft if you draft multiple times. And
yeah,
like
done.
I'll do a mock draft just to see how things are popping
Mhm.
on things. But then I also know that like with our league, it's a lot of people who either watch it casually or they're not 100% going to draft the way like a seasoned veteran is going to draft.
Right.
And that's why like even the league I have, like I have a $25 buy-in on a league.
Yeah.
And so like even that league, I know like it's a bunch of engineers.
Oh wow.
And so like the guy I played last week was literally it was a Japanese engineer.
Mhm.
Like he had come to America. Like he knows some soccer and baseball. And until he started in this, like now he's a little bit better. But even when I first started, and I think I started with doing this league for like 7 or 8 years ago, like when he first, he's like, I don't know any of these players. Like
Yeah.
he's like, I just draft based on the numbers, like on the thing.
Mhm.
And so, you're not drafting like you would with everybody like 100% on their draft boards and stuff. Like I normally come in here and draft, and I've got 3 screens going, and I've got I'm
Try hard.
watching. Yeah, I'm trying. The this year I'm doing AI and saying who should I get for this round and stuff, and the average picks and stuff like that, and it's just so. But then you're like looking at it, and even if you just go down that rabbit hole, then there's always that one player that's like, oh wait, I should get this guy.
Yeah. No,
So,
always. Yeah, for sure.
but
Yeah.
so yeah, that was our fantasy. It's just terribleness
No good.
for this week.
Yeah.
And I think this year I'm like what 4 and
6.
I'm 4-6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least this year, like I've still been like in each of them I've been competitive. Last year I lost both my starting running backs like right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I could never get in on a new starting running back like the rest of the season. Like
Yeah.
then they were out for the season.
No.
So
yeah,
it was just like it was
There's not a lot
over.
you can
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So I still have one whatchamacallit sitting on the bench. What's his name? I would look on my phone, but my phone is one of the cameras, so
I'll let you know.
I have
Is he hurt? Oh, Godwin.
well, yeah, I've got him. I've got some players on the bench, like if they come back in the next couple weeks, which they're supposed to, but it's a running back. I thought
DeAndre Swift.
no, the other one, the one on my IR.
The one you have Travis Hunter on IR.
Oh, that's right, because whatchamacallit came out of IR.
You have Chris Godwin. Yeah, Swift's the only running back on your bench.
Well, maybe it's on the other team then. But yeah, I think Godwin was on the IR, and then he came off the IR, and I needed to throw somebody because either way, otherwise I would have had to drop somebody.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so fantasy football, that's where we're at. There was one thing. Now I can't remember it though. I was gonna say there was one thing I wanted to see what your thoughts were on it, but
Was it about Fields or was it something else?
yeah, we did kind of. I don't think we talked about him on the podcast, did we?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was Fields, but we were talking about Fields, and we both said that he's in a situation,
Yeah.
and I don't know how as ownership, and it's just like you said about Pittsburgh, like all we had to do is get a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's going on in the background, obviously. But the piece, what you see on the field, what you need, that's what we need. We needed the Bears needed a linebacker, and we picked up some backup to, Myles Garrett or whatever, some backup.
Yeah.
At the Browns. So it's like, okay. But with him, it's like, where does ownership ever go by downplaying, like by criticizing one of your players?
Yeah.
Like, you paid good money for this guy. You look like an idiot for saying, this guy is, he's not maybe he's not the answer. Maybe the answer is somebody else because he's not the problem.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah. No, I mean, I watched Fields play week 1 against the Steelers, and I was like, this looks like a good quarterback. Like, they almost beat us week 1, and they almost beat the Eagles. They had that punt where they blocked the field goal, returned it for a touchdown. They were up, and then the Eagles won with a minute left. 30. Like, they're that close to being a completely different record.
I feel like he's a damaged quarterback because of the teams he's played on.
Yeah.
And I will throw the Bears under the bus on that.
Yeah.
Is that he was a good quarterback. He's got all the tools. He's got more tools than a lot of quarterbacks coming out in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Jones. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's got more tools than him.
Yeah.
And I think he's an intelligent guy too.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's a smart enough guy to get the system. I think the Bears put him in a bad situation. And I honestly like him better than Caleb Williams.
Really?
Like, I have never been a super fan of Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Now, he's changing my mind
Yeah.
a little bit by these 2 last weeks where he had the mental fortitude to say, I'm still in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm down 2 touchdowns or two scores. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, like, he didn't give up the 2 scores that almost gave up the Bengals game. Like, he didn't give those up.
Right.
Like, it was a score and then an onside kick, which was crazy in itself.
Right, because that never happens anymore.
Just how the guy, like, kicked it into his toes, and somehow he jumped up in the and hit him in the toes, and then a Bengals player fell on it.
Yeah.
Within the 10-yard line. Like, didn't make it 10 yards even. Like, just...
Right, yeah.
So, yeah. But I think that, you know... Yeah, I just think he was put in a bad situation. And for the Bears wise, it was timing. Like, they knew they only had 2 more years to get him going. And so they saw their out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, Fields, because when he was with us, he won the first 4 games for us.
Right.
With Pittsburgh, and then he lost 2 tough losses.
Right.
But you're 4-2. You're 4-2. Like, that's a good starting record.
Right.
I'm pretty sure is what it was. I'm almost certain. And we would have kept him. I really think we would have kept him if it wasn't for the Jets paying him $30 million. We were not going to do that.
So he was coming off of his freshman contract, basically. His, like, beginning, like, the first 5 years when you're in the NFL, you get, like, this set contract, basically.
Yeah, and we signed him for 1 year.
And you're getting paid, like, you know, not $10 million a year.
Right.
You know, and so I don't know why they've got it set up that way, but it protects the teams from spending,
even though they still do,
$20-30 million on a quarterback that for 5 years.
Right.
And so, so just, I think with him, it just happened to be, got a big boy contract.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for him, now it's with the Jets.
Yeah,
because the Jets aren't protecting him, and I think that's what happened with you guys is that it was first year in a new system. Like, some of the systems that they're throwing at these quarterbacks is just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I keep telling anybody who will listen, give them 20 plays for the first season. Give them 20, 30 plays or 20 pass plays that he's going to do. And you wouldn't believe what you can do with 20 pass plays.
Yeah.
Even in the NFL. Like, it's not that complicated. You still got variety, you still got whatever. And then you got your running plays, you got your handoffs, and you've got an offense.
Yeah.
That's not killing your quarterback. Like, you put 30, 40 plays in front of this quarterback, and now he's got to figure out all of the checkdowns, all of this, plus the 30 plays, plus the 40 plays, plus all it's too much for.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got to figure out the speed.
Right.
He's got to figure out who he can trust on this side.
Yeah.
He's got to figure out who's going to be blocking for him. So if he needs to be watching this side to run.
Yeah.
It's just it's a lot.
Yeah.
And although these players have practiced since they're whatever age, they I think you give them too much, and then you expect them to win you a Super Bowl in the first year they're with your team. That's not the normal.
Right. And I think we were comfortable keeping him, but when he got that contract, we're not we're smart enough, we're not going to outpay the Jets. The Jets are stupid. We know that they're dumb.
Right.
We're going to we're going to give that up for that.
Right.
And good on him. But the Jets have a great offense. Like, they have a
talented
offense. They have Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazar, 2 really good wide receivers. Obviously, Garrett Wilson's is the number 1.
Right.
And then Braylon Allen at running back, who has been great. And then another backup, I can't remember his name. Like, they have weapons on offense.
The problem though with the Jets is it's never been the weapons. It's always been the guys in the trenches. Like
You're right.
you can't build off of one line. You have to have 2.5 lines basically to get through a season.
Yeah.
Like because your center's going to get injured.
Yeah.
You know,
always.
he's just because he's the one that gets beat up on all the time. And you know, one of your guards is going down obviously, and both your tackles are going to get injured at least for a game or so season.
The Bears would die. Yeah.
The Bears are like on their 4th or so tackle. And we had I think we're on our 3rd center.
It's crazy.
And like one of our guard, I think we just got back our starting guards or something like that.
Mm.
And so and that's why the Bengals always struggle is because they may have a really good they may build up one really good line, but the second that line goes down, then they just it's terrible again.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
They also have an issue in their locker room.
Yeah.
And you can tell that by the fact that Joe Flacco's winning now.
Yeah.
You know, the Browning, when the second that Joe Burrows went down, the team itself went down. Like it just crashed.
Right.
And
you could see it.
Joe Burrows didn't play the defense. You know, not sure if you noticed this, but he's not on special teams.
Right.
You know, he's not. And he only does a certain part of the offense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that just you can tell. And then Joe Flacco comes in, who is a super positive guy.
Yeah.
And has like if you put him on the belief meter, Joe Flacco believes in himself.
Yeah.
He knows who he is. He knows that he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Right.
And that's that should be tattooed on his somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
Because that is his mantra.
Yeah.
Listen. Now you can say, oh, he's never won it since. Doesn't matter for Joe Flacco. He's won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so, and that's I feel like in that kind of industry, in your life, if you can walk around with your greatest achievement on your chest, you will be such a better person.
Yeah.
That's, not to be you should flaunt your, but if you felt if you felt the confidence of your greatest achievement and you walk, that's it. That's what he does. And then that's how he wins.
Yeah.
Now, is he going to win the rest of the season? We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely going to win. If he comes to your team, he's going to win 2 or 3 games right off the bat because he walks in a confidence that most players don't see until you see Joe Flacco.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's how that's part of how Tom Brady was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Is he and I'll tell you, when he played for Michigan, I was always yelling at the screen.
Yeah.
I did not believe in him.
Yeah.
But he walked in a confidence that I'm Tom Brady.
Right.
And especially after he won that first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm Tom Brady.
Yeah. For sure.
So if you want to get a life lesson, walk in the confidence of your greatest achievement.
Yeah.
Always. So.
And then you win Super Bowls.
And then you continue. Yeah. Then maybe you never win a Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
But you at least win on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so I think we're to the kind of the end here. We've got a pretty good almost 2 hours here.
Wow.
So just time flies when you're having fun.
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
And I think we'll talk about the Pope later.
Sounds good.
And we still have time we can talk about that. That's just more of a, honestly, it's more of a theological thing. And, I'm pretty interested to see what you have to say about it and what we can get to on it. But, I think this is a good spot to end. And I think I think what we want to promote here is just an open thought, and I think that, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but we are trying to fix problems with thought.
Yeah.
I think that's an admirable trait. And I think me and Allison, me and my wife have been talking about, people just don't have that kind of way of thinking anymore. It's just, there's no not creative thinking, but there's no creative thinking.
Yeah.
Critical thinking.
Critical. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think we teach it in schools. And I think that, I don't know that it was ever really 100% taught in schools, but our parents don't teach it to us a lot anymore either.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of absentee parents that send your kids to school and believe that that's where your upbringing, that's where your knowledge base is going to come from.
Yeah.
And I think that we've lost the critical and creative thinking side of things. And, that's where we're at.
Yeah. No, it's definitely important, especially on the political side of things too. Cause you
Right.
talked about it earlier, like even if, and this isn't what you meant, but it made me think of this, even though you haven't gone off to fight for your country to be a veteran, you can still do it in day to day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You can still be a patriot.
Right.
You're still,
Yeah.
you can still fight for your country.
Right.
And I think that we've lost sight of that.
Yeah.
That some people go to war for our country and some people fight for our country in a different way.
Absolutely.
And whether that's, taking on politics or that's, coming on a show and talking about your beliefs in the country.
Yeah.
And so, not that all sacrifices are equal, but all sacrifices are needed.
Right.
And so,
yeah, we all play a role.
right. I may be the pinky toe,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but you'd cut off your pinky toe and see how well you like to walk around.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
but one of our other sponsors, Distill Union, same kind of deal. Is they're trying to fix problems for men with accessories. I've been checking out their stuff, and they've got a magnet system that just helps you keep yourself organized, and I need that. So if you go to distillunion.com and you put in promo code Patriot Parts, and that'll get you 20% off, and also helps kick us back a little piece and gets us another step closer to better equipment and more world domination.
Yeah.
So get on, help us out, and we just appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Maybe. All right, we're out. Remember to follow, like, and share the Why I'm Angry podcast across all social media platforms and anywhere